and in places that you just wouldn't expect violence. Like there's people in Sweden driving from Sweden to like Holland to commit drills.
Oh,
Like if you hear about Swedish and like they're like the kindest people over there, bro. But you get black culture and stuff that kind of spreads, and it needs to be like just like spoken about for sure.
All right, welcome back to the Computer Keys channel. I am Marquise, and today we're back with another episode of the My Tech Story interview series. This one's gonna be a little bit different. So I got Felix here with me. We met through Instagram, and like we just kind of been talking and like getting to know each other a little bit more. So he also has questions for me, which I'm really excited about. So it's gonna be like a little bit different than the usual setup. So I'm gonna ask him stuff. He's gonna ask me stuff. Like we're gonna like bounce back and forth. So yeah, bro, I'm excited for this. Like we've been.
Thank you for having me, bro. I've been looking forward to this.
Me too. You said it's 10:30 where you at right now. So I can't wait to like get into where you're from, like all of that information too, because you're the first person. I've talked to people like maybe an hour or two, time zone difference with where I am now. Like they might be like 2 hours behind or something, but you're 5 hours ahead. So it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, London, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy. You told me that. I was like, wow. Like, first of all, the fact that you found my content out there is like, that had me like, damn, that really means a lot. And then just hearing how you like kind of immerse yourself in it and had like, different questions and like really like thoughtful stuff to say about it. Like that really hit me like right here. About that shit. It meant a lot. Nah, I loved it. All right, so I want to start off with getting to know about you, like, a little bit about you, and then we can we'll go into one of your questions. So
cool.
This first thing is just you don't got to remember every single thing. I'll keep you on track. But so we're gonna start with your name, age, location, your hometown, race or ethnicity, fun facts about you, and then like your interests outside of tech or outside of work.
Cool. My name is Felix Quis. I'm around 25 years old. I'm African Cameroon. I was born in Cameroon, but I was raised in London since I was probably around 5'7". My hobbies outside of tech are probably manga. I only read one actually. I enjoy combat sports. I enjoy a bit of science, politics, and history. And I'm big into spirituality and just that kind of sort of a lot of self-development. And what was that one?
No, that was it. You got everything. You got your interests in fun fact. Well, I guess you kind of combined it, but no, that's crazy. You said you're what is it? Cameroonian? What is it? What's it? That's okay. All right.
Yeah, you go ahead, bro.
All right, good. So your family left there. Y'all went to the UK, and that's where you grew up.
Yeah.
Have you been back?
I went back in 2009. I'm planning to go back in March or May in 2025. Yeah, reconnecting that.
Yeah, that's what I was curious about. Like, are you like how close are you to your roots and everything? Back there.
In spirit, I'm close, but in terms of culture and stuff, like if I go back, I'm not really the same. I'm kind of westernized. I'm pretty much British. Right. But in terms of wanting to get interested in stuff and wanting to get to know my tribe, reading up on it, I'm definitely still connected. But I just need to go back or probably go on.
What's the language?
The language, we speak French over there. Majority French in Cameroon, although my tribe is called Bassa and that's what we speak. I need to get back into that, like my tribal language for sure.
Yeah, I was about to ask you, like, are you fluent?
I'm fluent in French. Can't read or write it, which is nuts. Like being illiterate in a language is quite interesting. I can speak it.
Wow, I mean that's still pretty crazy. So since your parents brought you there, I would imagine like they brought a good amount of the culture with them, right? Because did they grow up there or like? Like, how did it work for y'all immigrating into the UK?
I think we immigrated pretty well because like the time when my mother, like when she was raised and when she was born, I think they kind of have a very Eurocentric mindset. So they really want to assimilate. So when they came here, they didn't really come here to want to go back and to kind of want to keep the customs. Of course, naturally they'll always have it, just the way they speak and just the language. Like she can speak the tribal language, but in general,
Right.
they kind of wanted to be British. They wanted to assimilate. So I think even when the Queen passed away, my mom acted like it was one of her sisters. So I think, like, so we had no issue assimilating. My father stayed back home to work and send back money because he had
Okay.
kind of important business there. But in general, the transition was smooth. I just probably but I wish I took the ownership initiative to visit back more to keep that connection.
Yeah. Right. I mean, it sounds like you're making moves to do it though. You talking about 2025. I think that'll be good to get back there and everything. I don't like. I always say this. I don't know exactly where my people are from outside of like the U.S. So if I had a country to go back to and kind of like immerse myself in there, I definitely would. So it's good to hear that
You have,
What'd you say?
you have a country you like to go back to, or you like to visit?
I don't really know any. I want to go to visit different places in Africa just in general, but I don't know exactly where my tribe would be. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know where my ancestors would have been back then. So um, I guess like if I knew that, I would be I would go back to that place and try to at least get a little bit of that culture to see like what it would have been like or whatever. But
This
no,
actually, I want to ask a question a bit now.
all
Actually,
right, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
so do you have anywhere outside of America that you feel like you'd settle, or are you thinking about anywhere?
Um, Honestly, bro, I didn't get my passport until last year. So the first place I've been outside of the country was Jamaica, and I could live in Jamaica.
Good choice, bro.
I wouldn't mind Jamaica, but yeah, I think I need to explore a little bit more before I can say that. I'm so used to certain things right now that certain like comfortabilities and conveniences and stuff like that I would have to think about that type of stuff. But um, I don't know if you saw the first interview with Nadif, but he got into like he goes to like different countries in Africa, and he was telling me like just being out there
South
is
Africa,
different. Yeah, exactly.
yeah. Yeah. I always felt
Um,
one.
yeah, he had me like really wanting to visit out there. So I would say if it was going to be anywhere else, it would probably be somewhere like you know wherever like a modern country in Africa,
More
somewhere where
developed.
yeah, a developed
Yeah, no,
country.
I know what
And
you mean, bro. I know you don't
yeah,
want to play around in certain
yeah,
places, bro.
yeah.
I know what you mean.
So something like that, I wouldn't mind at all. Yeah, I definitely would be open to that, or like just being over there for a month, 3 months, something like that. Like just getting that real experience. I wouldn't mind that at all. I think that would be cool.
Yeah, I feel that, bro.
Oh, I see. I see what question you just asked. All right, but so I want to get into your story a little bit. So, what do you do for how long, and if you feel comfortable, like a salary or salary range? Some people don't want to share that, so it's up to you.
Yeah, so I'm a junior IT engineer. I've been doing that probably since the start of November. Um, I'm on a junior salary, so I don't think tech pays that well in UK, or maybe it's just me.
Mm,
So I'm probably like the high 20Ks, something like mid to high 20Ks. Don't want to say the exact
okay.
number. Though, for me personally, I really appreciate the stability that my work provides and the opportunity for growth. So I work for a small IT company, IT provider, where we provide IT services to small businesses and schools. So it's around 20 years old. The owner is relatively young, and it gives you opportunities to become a director the longer you stay at the company. And I think one of the main things I appreciate about this role is the ability to grow, because although it's a junior IT role, I kind of want to get into cybersecurity and a lot of like cloud engineering, and I want to see if this role enables me the ability to kind of set up something in a specific part of Africa, preferably Uganda or Kenya, like an IT provider or cybersecurity firm, because over there they kind of lack a lot of infrastructure and there's just a lot of opportunities. So at the moment, that's what I do: IT engineer, junior salary, and yeah, I've just been doing that for about a month so far, and I'm really loving it. A lot to learn.
Is this your first position?
My first IT job, yeah, my first
First
tech job
IT?
for sure.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's what you told me when we first started talking. But no, that's cool. You said you want to. It sounded like you want to like take your talents to Uganda or what was the other country you said?
Kenya, Uganda, Kenya.
Kenya. Yeah,
Yeah,
and kind of seize the opportunity there. I think that would be cool. And so, especially in like those places where it's not as big as it could be, and you getting in
for
there on the ground, on the ground floor and everything, I think that would be a good move for sure.
yeah, I think the skills that we have,
Yeah,
essentially growing up in like the West and how developed it is, we were given the blueprint to take things back over there and make things a lot simpler because
yeah,
you like the amount of opportunities that are over there is ridiculous. I mean, there's a lot standing in our way. Let's not lie about that. But they don't have a lot of infrastructure that we kind of have the blueprints for. Like we've basically spent our entire lives learning things
right.
here. Essentially, whether it's building a website like YouTube or even just some railway networks, they don't have that. They don't kind of have trains connecting countries. So a lot of things that we learn over here within like 30, 40 years time, if we really develop them and take them back,
Yeah.
it's going to be a very lucrative opportunity and just a lot of development and growth.
Yo, for you to be thinking about this at 25 is crazy. At 25,
Oh,
I wasn't thinking about nothing like this at 25.
I took a lot of L's, bro. Like I had to straighten up for
Yeah.
sure.
No, that's what's up. So, what? I guess we will get into what you were doing before, but like before this job, what were you doing? Like, what type of work?
So I was basically doing labor jobs, bro, like non-skilled
Um,
labor jobs,
mm,
jobs that you're easily replaceable because everything they teach you, you can learn on the first day of training.
yeah.
So I was just kind of doing that for probably around 6, 7 years because I didn't finish college, which in our sense is the equivalent of high school.
Mm,
And I'm not even saying that as like a brag. I was kind of tricked in it. So do you know how in our culture there's just kind of this thing of fast money and they don't respect the 9 to 5 hustle. They
mm,
don't respect the grind. So I kind of
yeah.
bought into that
Yeah.
and stuff. I bought into that, left sixth form, and I had a pretty good job, so I didn't mind. And I was just kind of waving around these non-labor jobs until pandemic hit. Then I kind of thought about
Mm, mm,
my career, what I wanted to do with my life. Then I realized that tech's always been what I wanted to do. So
yeah.
I kind of grew up in it and left it as a teenager when I started socializing more. But in general,
Mm.
it's just I really love this stuff. Man. I like it a lot.
No, that would
Yeah.
be. All right, I don't know if you want to ask one, but that's a perfect segue into my next question. So, did you want to ask one first?
No, you can segue actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, sorry, I'm glad you brought that up because that's kind of what I was getting into. Like, what were you doing before that? And for it sounded like as something in there had tech on your mind. So, what got you interested in tech, or who got you interested in tech? Like, where did that come from?
So growing up, I was a big nerd, like huge nerd. I used to like I used to kind of play around with games, play around with models, open source codes in websites,
Mm.
fiddle with those around. And when we had websites like Pixo, I don't know if you had that, but it's similar to
I never.
MySpace.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because you could code on those
Yeah,
websites and make it
yeah. You
nice.
customize it.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, I used to fiddle around with that and like private service for video games. I used to do that probably from around the age of 7 till 13, 12. Because like family computer, I'm an immigrant and I'm just kind of just my young brain's kind of ingratiating itself in tech.
Mm.
So I kind of just really liked it. But as I got more into being a teenager, I just wasn't really focused with a lot of things. I was just yeah. I honestly, growing up, I had no kind of clue about careers and that kind of stable structure, and that I needed that. So I was kind of floating around off the belief of I can learn something quickly, and that's good.
I
So,
see. Yeah.
but yeah, it was 2020 that kind of was a wake up when I realized, yeah, I need to get a career, and I realized that just, I enjoy technology. So I took a course in web development. I enjoyed web development, though I didn't know web and coding, web and software development. I enjoyed it, though I didn't know exactly how to apply it, because I think a lot of people learn Python, you learn JavaScript, and whilst you're making a project, it's fun. But when it comes to how am I going to apply this in a work setting,
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to just get the job and learn on the job.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
in essence, everyone wants to do that, and it's a competitive field. So I just knew that until I find something that I really want to do with coding, I should probably put that on the back burner. So I went into more just general IT and
Nah,
infrastructure.
that's smart. That's a good idea though. I will say, as far I relate to that. I'll say it like this because as you're going through school and stuff, they have you doing these little projects, make this thing print this or make this equation do this, like stuff like that. But there's no real like application of it. It wasn't until I went to boot camp that I was like, oh, this is how you use this stuff for businesses. This is how you use this to make software and websites and stuff like that. I didn't understand that until boot camp. So, it's good that you have that in there, you know what I'm saying, that knowledge so that when you are ready to go back, but just make sure you're staying sharp, you know what I'm saying? Like keep doing some projects on the side. And
You lose it easily.
yeah,
Yeah,
you will. So
yeah, you lose it very easily.
nah,
But,
I got little projects and stuff. I might bring you in on it to keep you sharp and everything. I think that'll be
please, bro.
good.
I'd
All
actually
right,
really
yeah.
appreciate it.
All right, say no
Yeah.
more. Say no more. Let
Actually,
me get
this
that.
I wanted to ask you something actually now.
Mm.
Um, it's what has your journey into tech and how far you've got, and what has that taught you about yourself? Things that you probably didn't know before, or that you developed, or you felt you needed to develop.
Damn. When I saw this one on the list, I'm glad you asked this one. Yeah, I was kind of thinking about this a little bit, and I think patience is the main thing. Um, Patience and knowing like when I need to take a break from something, when I need to step back and just overall like not forcing anything. So sometimes you're coding something, you're just working, you feel like you're right there to get that fix in there, and nothing you do is working. Sometimes I just need to stop, walk away, maybe go to the gym, go eat something like whatever, and then like while I'm doing that, sometimes when I'm in the shower, it just be like random times where like a solution might come into your head or something like that, and I feel like basically the way they describe it is like banging your head against the door or banging your head against the wall, where it's
Yeah,
like at some point you're not really being productive. You know what I'm saying? Like you're just kind of doing stuff. And so I had to learn, you know, and kind of start applying that to my music and everything. So if I'm trying to write a song and the lyrics is not there, I'm just not feeling it. Instead of me trying to force it and put out something that I wouldn't be happy about, I learned how to like take a step back. Let me come back to this beat. Let me think about something else. Let me rethink the concept, stuff like that. So I think overall coding and like this field in general has taught me like patience and knowing when to take a break. I think that's like the main thing. And then, being able to come back to something, even though it might be annoying you, it might be not going, might not be going as well as you want it to. Just being able to take that, understand when you need a break, take that break, and then come back to it with a clear head and everything. I think that's like the number one thing I probably learned from this for
yeah.
sure.
It's like going with the flow, like
Mm,
essentially. But
yeah.
kind of it links into two questions I want to ask you. It seems a bit spiritual. Or
Mm,
is that me just making that putting that in the way you just described things seems a bit like just
yeah.
leaving things in the hands of, yeah, just letting things come to you, I guess.
Mm,
Mm.
yeah. I know on the list you had what I consider myself like more religious or spiritual. I think it was on there.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I used to be fairly religious, like very religious. Like if you listen to my old music and stuff, you'll hear it in there a lot more. I'll talk about God and stuff like that a lot. And no, over these last couple of years, it's just kind of shifted away from uh, necessarily like Christianity or something like that, and more so me having faith in the fact that I'm always going to do my best no matter what. So it's less of a faith in like something else is going to provide for me, or more so a faith in the fact that while I'm willing and able-bodied and you know
Hmm.
clear mind and everything, while I'm like this, I'm going to always do my best. I'm going to always put my best foot forward no matter what I'm doing. And knowing that
It's
and realizing
powerful.
that over these thank you over these last couple of years, realizing that is helped me get to the point where I'm like, even if stuff not going well right now, me doing my best is going to pay off eventually, no matter what it is. And so that like having that confidence in me now has made me feel like unstoppable with anything. So like even with this stuff, even when it's not going exactly how I want it to, the audio might be too loud. Sometimes it might not be exactly how I want. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing my best right now. And I know that as long as I'm being consistent and like just trying and trying, eventually it's going to get to where I want it to be. But what
Yeah.
I had to stop doing was being like, okay, this is going to happen. And I have faith it's going to happen. I'm praying it's going to happen. But I'm not making any actions. I'm not doing anything about it. So I shifted from like praying and waiting to like putting faith in myself and just doing it, just being active, making the moves I feel like I need to make to get to where I need to get to. So I guess I hope that kind of answers it. So in a way,
No,
it's a little spiritual, but yeah, that's pretty much it.
no, that makes sense.
That
That
was a
makes
great
sense.
question, yo. That was a good question.
Yeah.
Damn, you got a little
That's
deep
a
there too. Thank you. Thank you. All right, cool. So I want to get into this next one for you. So the next question is, was tech always your original plan? So it sounded like you always had that interest in there, and
Mhm.
after working the jobs you were working, that's what you came back to. But was there anything else that you wanted to be? You didn't really think about careers, but like, what else did you want to be?
Um, not necessarily wanted to because I still want to.
Mm,
I want to be a musician. I want to get into music for sure.
mm,
In the period of my time, in the period of my life between the years, I'd say 16 to 21, I was heavily into that.
mm,
Um, yeah, I was just kind of living teenage lifestyle really and kind of writing music on like falling in love, breaking hearts, having my heart broken, all that kind of stuff, and kind of channeling that into music. So that was my first passion, first goal. But as I got older, I kind of realized that there was no stable income in music.
mm,
Like, you can make music and you can make great, fantastic music, but if you don't have that kind of like financial backing there already, you can lead yourself into some dangerous places
right.
because it's kind of a lifestyle. So when I realized that, I kind of adjusted and said I needed to have a proper stable career, and music is talent, and talent doesn't kind of expire. It has no expiry date.
Mm,
So if you provide that talent at any age, you're gonna be recognized.
yeah.
So yeah, my first passion was definitely music. It still is. It's just that when I get more stable in what I'm doing in tech, and I kind of get more experiences, because the things I wanted to say when I was 21 and 18, 19 aren't the same things I want to say now.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
and yeah, I'm thinking a lot about the influence I want to be and
Mm,
just the kind of things I want to do. So that is definitely my first passion and something that I keep on the back burner.
mm.
Because yeah, that's why I really related a lot to what you said, that when you wanted to do music, it seems like music's a big passion of yours
Yeah, it
in
is.
terms of fiction and writing as well.
Mm,
So you kind of know what that feeling is like
yeah.
when you kind of need that stability and that kind of lifestyle to really draw the best music out of yourself.
Hmm.
So yeah, that was my
Absolutely.
first.
You're definitely doing it the right way. what I was interviewing somebody last night. He said you gotta what did he say? Design your life around your passions. So for me, doing I make good money and therefore I'm able to do like the little hobbies and stuff that I like to do, which includes making music. And
Mhm.
it sounds like you pretty much doing the same thing, like being able
Trying
to
to.
pay for your passions with like your 9 to 5 and everything. And it helps that you're also passionate about the tech too. I think that it's a little harder when you're working a job that you hate or that you're not even slightly interested in, and you're trying to use that because then you're not
Bro.
putting out your best music either.
Yeah. Have you ever worked like labor jobs, like
Yeah,
non-skilled jobs?
yeah, I
You
have.
work like warehouses.
Oh hell yeah.
Oh, bro, there's like that shit ruined. Like, even when it's a good labor, like non-labor job, you're there for probably around like 3 months, 4 months, saying, "Oh yeah, this is okay." Then,
hmm
because you're doing the same thing over and over again,
Yep.
your brain starts to kind of like you start to lose your mind a bit.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, I quit my job, bro. Before I even landed this one, I just quit. I was like, I couldn't do
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do, yo.
it. I was like, nah, like I can't do this anymore, bro.
Yeah, once it start like getting to you mentally or like or taking a toll on you physically, that's when you gotta like. Yeah, but during college, when I was saving up to get my car, I was working overnight. I don't know if y'all have Lowe's over there, but it's like a hardware store. I was working overnight there, 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. And then during the day, I was working at this. It's
Oh, you're
like
working
a
two
holistic
jobs.
store. Yes, man. I was
It's crazy.
for a whole summer. That shit was like torture, but I was so tired. I fell asleep on the bus like probably 5 to 10 times.
That's grinding for real,
Yeah, I
man. Like,
was.
I mean,
Yo.
attention to a man.
I got my car
Like,
though. I
that's
got the,
serious.
I was able to get the car. So, but yeah, I definitely relate to like having those jobs that you don't want to be there. It might not be even be the worst job, but it's like this is not what you want to do. It's not what you see for yourself. You know what I'm saying? So, no, I relate to that for sure.
Yeah, no, the days are a lot longer. But I wanted to ask a question actually because
Good.
of something you mentioned. So how has your success affected the relationships in your life?
Golly, you came with. I don't
Yeah,
remember seeing
man.
this. Damn. Oh my goodness. What a question. All right, hold on. Give me 1 second. Let me get my bliss
Yeah, come
stats.
on, bro. Do your thing, man. Do your thing.
Damn, that's a crazy question. All right.
Nah, man. Let's let the people know more about you, innit?
Say that again.
It lets the people know more about you, innit?
Oh, for sure. This is getting deep. All right. So one thing I have noticed is so like when I got this job, I moved out of Philly. I'm from Philadelphia. I moved like 30 minutes out of the city. So I'm just like a little more isolated now. I moved to be closer to my job so I wouldn't have to commute. And then I realized I started feeling a similar way to when I was working in Maryland. So for like 2 years, I worked in Maryland. Well, I lived in Maryland. I worked in Virginia, and like I said, I'm from Philly, so majority of my family is still in Philly. So I had these two moments where I felt like kind of isolated, basically. And so it's like while I live in a good area and stuff like that, um, I'm a lot less likely to like go to events, and I just feel myself becoming. I'm already a homebody, and I just feel myself becoming more reclusive, I guess is the word, where I just kind of live in my own bubble in a way. And I've noticed that, so now I'm making more of a conscious effort to get out, do more stuff. If I'm invited somewhere, maybe not like I don't think I'm gonna go like stuff like maybe now just go out a little bit more. I don't got to be out at the whole event, but pop out for a couple hours, something like that. Just trying to be more mindful about like socializing and spending my time with people, and then like doing stuff like this has
Mm-hmm.
has filled a void that I didn't even realize was there because I've been getting I don't even know. Like it's just another level of socializing when it comes to like doing these interviews and like learning about people, and then doing something like this where you're asking me stuff like that. This is like I never when I started this channel is nothing like I never would have imagined it. So um in a way like the success, if you want to call it that, has made me have to rethink how how like I don't introverted I am, I guess, or how like
Yeah.
isolated I am. So it just makes me be more mindful about spending time with people. So like you ask about relationships,
Hmm.
being more mindful of making time for people and making time to come and go and do stuff while also making sure that socially I'm not drained or I'm not feeling like burnt out or anything. So I think it's definitely been finding a balance between still making time for people and making time for their events and stuff like that, while also like being kind of isolated, I guess.
Yeah,
Um,
that balance.
but pretty much just I put myself in a bubble in a way, and I'm just kind of like peel back that bubble a little bit and just put myself out there
Yeah.
a little bit more. I think that's the best way of putting it.
I
Um,
think you should because I'm kind of surprised that you were surprised I was going to ask you these questions because in our kind of community, I know we're like from two different like
mm,
overseas and stuff, but
mm,
I definitely think that someone like you is a role model. Kind of the things you've achieved.
damn,
I don't know too much about you, but you seem very respectable. You have a nice career going on in your
damn,
like just the way you speak about yourself. So I think it's definitely something that I like to see more people like you kind of like leading just showing a good representation to the youth because I think that right now
wow,
where
bro,
we're at it's a bit crazy. I mean you can see it yourself, but where the younger generation is it's a bit
yeah,
stuff where the guys are. They need good role models and they need to be shown that
damn,
there's what success looks like and stuff. Because
wow,
success can be humble and it can be introverted.
mm,
So that's kind of why,
damn, bro.
yeah.
That wow, yeah, that means oh man, that means so much to me. You don't even understand. Damn, I'm like speechless right now.
All right,
I genuinely like I really appreciate that. Like that's damn. That's like one of the
I
best
know.
compliments I ever got. Damn, bro.
Oh,
Sheesh. uh,
nah, I mean that, man. We're still gonna get into it, man. I got more questions.
damn. All right, all right. All right. Let me get back on track. Did you wanna ask another one, or you want me to get to your next one?
Actually, yeah, I'll ask another one.
Okay.
So who do you say inspires you, or like, yeah, who do you say inspires you, like historically, or in terms of famous people, personal figures in your life?
hmm
Yeah,
Um,
who are you inspired?
definitely my big sister. She is. You think I'm accomplished or anything like that? Like she's got her PhD in speech pathology. She's running her own business. She's a mom. Like it's just so many things that she does that she's just always been her own person. Like she went to school in Virginia and then decided she wanted to move to Florida. None of my family lives in Florida. Nobody. She wanted to move down there. She fell in love with it when we like went there as when we were kids. She knew she wanted to live out there. She moved out there and like made a life for herself out there. And I respect like her doing those types of moves made me feel comfortable when I went to Virginia to do that boot camp and then lived down there for a couple of years. Like just seeing her explore and spread her wings like that and it just always be her has
Hmm.
made me feel like I can do like anything, honestly. And I probably I never I've told her like she's an inspiration to me and everything, but I've never put it in these words. So this would be like the first time hearing this. But yeah, she's what I try to be. Like just so you and like putting not being afraid to try different things and putting yourself out there and just seeing what she's been able to do. It just keeps me inspired, honestly. And then obviously my parents and stuff like that, but like I would say like my big sister is probably my biggest inspiration for sure. Yeah.
It's nice. I like that.
Yeah. Now you got me wanting to add that to my questions. Like
Oh man.
I might have to add that.
Yeah, I have to think about that one. So
That's a good one. What about you though? What's yours? Before we get into your next one, what's your?
my inspiration. See, I probably have to say it's actually very. This one's a kind of a tough one for me.
Mm.
I'd have to say probably my father.
Mm.
If that although that sounds weird because he passed away when I was oh shit. No signal. You good, bro?
Yeah, you can still hear me, right?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
All right. Sometimes this camera, I don't know if it overheats or what, but it go ahead. You can keep going. So you said your dad.
Yeah. So my dad, he passed away when I was relatively young, around like 14, 15.
Um.
But I'd say that because in terms of how my mother felt towards him and myself, and I really appreciate everything that my family's done for me,
Mm-hmm.
and especially my mother, and seeing that I can say that she's my biggest inspiration as well. Because from all of that and seeing how she loved my father, I kind of knew that I've been given a really good opportunity. The fact that I was born in Cameroon, and if you look at my mum's village, but it's like a village, isn't it?
Yeah.
And just being over here with all the being over here with all the opportunities and knowing that he played a part in that, and just knowing how she loved him even after he passed away,
Mm.
I think all of that kind of just very like inspired me to just make something of my life. So I just feel like the opportunity I have to be here and to just have so much knowledge, it's just incredible. I could have just been back home, and if I was back home, that would have made my life a whole lot harder. So definitely my father and my family in general, just my biggest inspiration.
Damn.
But yeah, my father.
All right, give me 1 second. I'm about to reconnect. I'm
No worries, bro.
putting another camera on here. This one should work. All right, that's gonna have to work.
Nice.
Yeah, no, that's you mentioned that your dad like had a business and everything, and that
Uh,
he
yeah, yes.
you said he worked in the business and he was like sending money over.
Yeah, he worked back home. I'm not necessarily exactly too sure what he was doing actually. I need
Oh,
to think
okay.
about it. But yeah, he was working back home and he was sending money over.
Yeah,
Essentially, he was supporting us from back home.
yeah. That's definitely commendable for sure, because that's a
Yeah.
sacrifice not being able to go to that new place and having to send that money over and everything. That's a
Hmm.
lot of men wouldn't do that. So that's
Yeah.
definitely commendable.
Yeah, I think that generation's a bit different. Like the generation of my parents,
Mm-hmm.
they're like they grew up going through a lot in terms of colonialism and what their parents had to go through.
Mm.
So I think that my generation, in terms of the Africans that were kind of raised here, we're probably the first ones with some level of like mental freedom and opportunities.
Damn,
Like our parents didn't really have that. So
damn.
yeah, I feel lucky for sure.
Wow. All right. So, all right. That's a good little kind of segue. Having those opportunities, I want to know like where did you go to school? Because you mentioned that you didn't finish everything. So I want to know where did you go to school, and then where did you continue your knowledge after that to get to the job that you have now?
I went to a school called Blackheath Bluecoat in Greenwich or in Blackheath, no, in Blackheath,
Mm.
but the Greenwich Borough, and it doesn't exist anymore. It closed down. I was the last year group.
Mm.
Then I went to a sixth form college from the ages of 16 to 18 called Thomas Tallis. Uh, I just dropped out of that second year. I had no intentions of going to university, if I'm being real. So how I learned mostly about tech, it's kind of just self knowledge. which is what I love about tech and like soft. There's anyone involved in tech because we're all kind of nerds and all geeks, so we're always willing to help someone. So if you join a Discord server or just any kind of server and you just ask for advice and just how to learn the best way to go about things, there's someone always going to be willing to help.
For sure. So I had a quick question about the school. So you said, I'm trying to understand how y'all thing works. So from where does college end? Because I know y'all call it university. So where does college end?
Basically, your high school is from like the ages of what 11 to 18.
It's 14 to 18. High school.
14 to 18.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Basically, for us, our secondary schools from 11 to 16. Then we have college from 16 to 18. Then university, 18 to whichever. So essentially, I didn't finish high school.
But okay, I see.
Yeah, that's basically high school. It's
But over there, 16 is kind of our 18, right?
Yeah. You don't have to go to school after 16.
Yeah. So I mean, you kind of. I mean, that would be like somebody finished in 12th grade here at 18 and then decided not to do anything else.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
So I don't know if that counts as dropping out per se, but I guess
I didn't get my I wouldn't have graduated if I was in America.
Oh, I see. Okay, I see.
Yeah.
So, all right. So that's even more interesting, though, that the fact that you didn't complete that, but you were able to. So your knowledge, your self-taught knowledge, got you the job that you have now.
Yeah, more.
Damn.
Yeah, I don't have any certificate shit.
Oh, that's what's up.
I'm a geek, bro, for real. Like I'm I'm a nerd for real. So
Damn. So
yeah.
The second part of this question is, what do you do to gain knowledge? So now I really need to know, like, what did you do to teach yourself the stuff that you needed to know?
So growing up, because I was always into this stuff in terms of like private servers, gaming, just IT infrastructure. So I kind of always knew these buzzwords and I'd always know my way around them. But when they were explained to me, I got a clearer understanding. So in terms of tech, I just needed to kind of do something once and then I get it because of my past knowledge. So I studied for the Qomputer A+ and Qomputer Sec Plus, Security Plus. And whilst I was doing that, I'd also go into like the Discord servers and ask people in tech the kind of programs to use, how to use that. And essentially, I really polished my CV and I just made sure that I showed how capable I was in my CV. And I used virtual machines. I really went out there, bro. So I got my hands dirty. I went to kind of like conventions and just really off the strength of my CV and my interview skills, I landed the position. Yeah, because when I got into that interview, I was explaining group policy, Microsoft Active Directory, and Office 365, how they all work together. It was pretty obvious that I knew my stuff and then that I was passionate about it. So I think that's definitely what landed me the role. And I wouldn't advise anyone to drop out of high school. I think that's a bit too... it's kind of pushed too much in our culture, kind of like the fast route, the fast money, and not taking the long route.
Right.
Although I'm happy I did it because I think that it at least lets people know that you don't have to do it. You don't have to go that way to kind of get a good career in tech, right? But if you want it easier, that would help you, like finishing school. Like, like shit wasn't like part of my language, bro. So
no, you can go ahead. Be you.
Yeah, it wasn't sweet. It wasn't like, it took me a while to get this job. My CV was rubbish. My interview skills was rubbish. A lot of no's. I had to really polish up my character and just make my life tech centric. I couldn't kind of faff around. So kind of everything I do is essentially revolving around tech in my spare time.
You basically like you became the person that would get that job. Like you said, like I definitely don't recommend dropping out, especially because a lot of people are not going to have that mindset that you have. It's not like you just started applying to tech jobs. Like you were doing the jobs. You know what I'm saying? Like going to conventions and meeting people and doing the virtual machines and stuff like that. Like that's all the stuff that they would want to hear that you can do. You know what I'm saying? So you applied yourself. And now I'm curious, like, what type of stuff are they teaching in the secondary school or the college, or whatever, the high school, whatever it's called?
But over here, I don't think I'm like a fair representation, man, because I was just messing around. Like, I wasn't really paying attention and stuff, but I say that you get, you get moderately equipped, like over here. Like they teach you the basics, though you kind of just have to do a lot of self-learning. I think, I'm not sure how the culture of tech is over there in the US, but in the UK, the culture is a lot more bit niche. And I think that the people who kind of want to get into it is they may not have a genuine like passion for tech. Right. They just kind of want to get like the role and get the money, which
it's like that here too. You get a good amount of people that
are like, I don't think schools teach you enough to be prepared for a tech role for sure. I think there's a lot of internships and a lot of like self-learning you have to do, but you're definitely not taught enough.
So do you feel like, sorry, go ahead.
No, go on.
Do you feel like if they would have taught more of that stuff in school, that you would have been more interested? Or even
Yeah. If I were to if I were to teach like kind of coding, like software, and kind of just make IT a bigger part of the curriculum, because IT isn't that big. It wasn't that big anyway when I was in school.
Right.
It was more of the sciences and the maths and English. But I think it's getting bigger now, so it could be probably different for the kids. But back then it was mostly just coding on Scratch.
Yeah.
And
that's like
that's basically it.
That's like the bare minimum of coding.
Yeah. And then when you're on like IT, if you don't want to do anything, you don't have to. You can just be on the computer doing whatever you want. So like, it wasn't that regimented. But I at the same time, I wasn't paying attention and I was fooling around. Yeah. So I'm not the best.
No, I love a good I guess underdog story where you pretty much turned yourself around and was able to will yourself into the spot that you're in now. I think that's definitely a good sign of character and grit. You know what I'm saying? Like being able to, like I need to buckle down, get myself together so I can put myself in a position that I want to be in. Like a lot of people are not gonna have that mindset. So I respect that for sure. Being able to acknowledge that you weren't doing your best back then and then change it. I love a good story like that.
Yeah, man, I was messing around, bro.
Go ahead.
No, because I wanted to ask you kind of a question that kind of led from that.
Okay.
And I think, let me see if I have that here. It was to do with kind of our culture.
Let me see.
If you know what I mean.
I got them here too.
So it was, what are the things you notice most about your and our community and culture, positive and negative?
Yeah, I see that here. That's a good question.
Things that hold us back or things that you can't,
I'll say the main thing holding people back, I don't know if it's like that out there, but here it's a lot of like, for lack of a better term or phrase, like crabs in a barrel, or a lack of unity here, where people aren't really. I'm big on like if I make it in, I'm trying to hold the door open for the next person to come in. I'm trying to advocate for other people, stuff like that. And I feel like there could be a lot of selfishness, not even just in tech, but like any industry. I feel like Black people can tend to be a little bougie sometimes, and in certain areas it's like you should be trying to help people up, and I feel like you're trying to make yourself look better by keeping other people down. I would say that's probably one of the main things. And then something that's not really our community's fault, but like a systemic thing, is just lack of exposure and lack of money lack of knowledge of generational wealth and tech stuff and finances and you know ownership and stuff like that. I feel like because a lot of lower income neighborhoods don't have the best schooling and stuff like that. That's where you get a lot more of the crime and stuff like that because these kids are lost. They need money. They don't know what to fall into. They don't know about tech. They don't know about finances and all this other stuff that they can do to get money. So they following the other people that they see, the other old heads around there that's doing the same bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like those are like the two main things. That systemic, I hate to say like a systemic oppression, but basically like the schools are bad. So the
True.
yeah, like the education is bad. So therefore the access to jobs is bad, which is kind of completes the circle because now you got people trying to work 2, 3 jobs just to make it because they don't know that there's a job out there that they could do to make $100,000, $120,000, $200,000. It's not even something people think about. So I think that lack of exposure is also kind of systemic. And I feel like it's people like us, you want to go back and into these different countries in Africa and share your knowledge and everything. Me trying to communicate and collaborate with people as much as I can to tell these types of stories and to get this information out so that maybe somebody will think about their, getting into tech or getting their kid into tech or something like that. So like, I think that's kind of our job now. Like now that we know, we got to take what we know back. Like you said earlier, take what we know back and do that. So then I guess that brings me to the positive part of it, which is stuff like this. Us being able to take this and like you 5 hours ahead of me, like it's crazy. Like stuff like that. This is a positive of our community. You know what I'm saying? Us having this, you're British, I'm American, Cameroonian. I don't know what I am, but like
I'd say you're just American, bro.
what'd you say?
I'd say you're just American, bro. Honestly, I'd say you're American. Yeah, this is
yeah, so I think us having that is still being able to just still like have this good connection here. I think stuff like that is the best thing about the Black community. It's like I cannot know you. We might walk past each other at work or at the gym or whatever, and just what's up, like how you doing, shit like that. Like just being just that camaraderie when it's there is beautiful. It's nothing like connecting with another Black person and having that like
off the jump, yeah,
that connection just be there. Yeah, I think that's like the best thing. But it's like unspoken kind of. So I just would wish to see more of that, and more of that would lead to less of the other stuff having like as big of an effect as it does. That's what I think. That's a good question, good ass question.
Yeah, because it's nice to hear from someone. Because from seeing it from across the pond, you guys are really in the eye of the beast, man. Like essentially, what happens to you guys affects Black people all across the world. Like we kind of get ripples of your culture. So, but in terms of, I like to read a lot on history and a lot of like politics. What you guys are going through, it's a bit crazy. It's very intense. It's almost otherworldly.
Yeah,
it's even I can't understand it because I'm not there. So just hearing that from your perspective, it's interesting because there's similar things going on over here, but we have more options. So, but we're falling into the same traps. But that's because of the culture,
right?
Like the music and people trying to look for quick money. So we have a lot more opportunities, but we kind of keep falling into the same traps of that quick money of jail and crime and stuff, which is kind of goes to show how hard it is for you, for you guys, because you guys don't have the options,
right?
Here.
Right.
So it's tough. It's tough for sure, man.
And do y'all get like healthcare and stuff over there?
Yeah, free healthcare.
Free health, yeah. See, like stuff like that. So imagine trying to work 2, 3 jobs, and then your kid gets really sick or breaks their arm or something like that, and now you have a hospital bill for $10,000 because
Nah, it's no. Wait, I thought that was just memes. It can't just be 10K.
no,
Wait, 10K.
ambulance ride could be like 5K. It costs a woman like $20,000 to have a baby, literally, like 20K, probably more than that, honestly, because of all the
See, that's
little
yeah.
ticky tack stuff they throw in there. They charge them if you want to like have your baby and hold it right away. You get charged for that. like,
You get charged, bro. Do you know how mad that is? I can't, do you know apparently that's the best thing for a baby to be held by its mother straight away.
right.
The fact that they charge you guys for that,
Yeah, they
it's
charge for everything, and they, I guess there's tricks around it. Like you could ask for a itemized bill or something like that, and then they'll take out like all the little stuff that they're charging you for. But yeah, people go into real life debt over like hospital emergencies and stuff like that. Over here, they tell you to have 3 months of emergency fund just in case, because anything can happen. Something happened to your car, your apartment, your house. If you don't have the right insurance to cover that specific thing, they might not pay you for that stuff. Like I said, medical emergency. If you don't have the money, and let's say you're waiting for your disability stuff to kick in, but you have this bill or you have these things. If you don't have a nice little nest egg, people will become homeless over like some of the debt that they end up in. And then not to mention like predatory stuff like predatory student loans, predatory car and like those types of loans where credit cards and stuff like that where they're just trying to give you money so that you go more and more and more in debt. So yeah, man, it's like a lot of just little traps. Sorry, little traps to fall into, where it's like if you make the wrong mistake at like 23, you could be paying for that for the next 10 years or something like that. So definitely because of all of those things that already exist, add to the top of that like people don't get the best resources. We don't get the schools don't have the best technology and books and stuff like that. Add all those things, and then you're just kind of like piling stuff on top, and
like
eventually you kind of
varying level of difficulty.
yeah.
Like to be born and to be raised in that kind of honestly, to make it to 25 with no criminal record and stuff like that, and no, that's a big accomplishment. Like just let alone
Yeah.
like having like any form of like success to just make it to that kind of age, free of all of
For sure.
any of those obstacles. It's like no, you guys are you're really going through it. Like no, it's like honestly, I stand with you guys.
Yeah, we
You know,
appreciate
I
it.
think, it's hard for the world to see that because honestly, I'm not gonna lie. From like what the world sees of Black Americans, it's not. It's tough, man. It's. I read up on history, like I said before, so I kind of see behind it. But in terms of like the artists, we see the culture. It's really negative. Like to the entire world, it's kind of portrayed as just kind of violence and kind of debauchery a lot. And if you don't really kind of dig into that and read into that, you're kind of gonna get lost in that and gonna buy the narrative.
Damn.
But in sense, you guys are really going through it because it's a kind of it's just like traps around the corner. Like if getting sick is gonna like land you in debt, how just crime is just a necessity at that point.
Damn, hearing you say that though, like from your perspective, because I see it online, social media, you're able to see other people's point of view and everything. And I see, you see people comment, but hearing you say like this, basically the stuff coming out of this country that represents us is all
It's
like basically negative.
yeah, it's like basically it's if you guys weren't entertaining. Personally, for my, I don't want to get too deep, but it's almost like
No,
you guys are being
no, I want to get
primed
deep. I want to get deep.
you guys are like being primed for like extermination. Because from what we see, it's like if it wasn't from entertainment, if you guys were just like wiped, it's almost like a lot of the world would think, well, it kind of makes sense. Like, look at how they're living.
Damn.
You know, you kind of been primed for like that kind of situation of, well, if you guys do get kind of exterminated, you kind of brought it on yourselves, which is a very dangerous mindset to kind of view a group of people, because it's, you know, it's just the entire thing. Like, I'm glad that I'm kind of talking to you and that you're speaking to me about this and stuff, that I'm getting clearer understanding. But there's just like a lot of just from everything from the sexy reds to the Ice Spice. You know, even in movies, all of the black actors, they're always crooks. You know what I mean? Like, they're never just a straight, narrow. It's always just a crook. There's always something illegal to them. And all of these types of things, they portray a certain image. And, you know, I just kind of worry about that. It's essentially because it doesn't seem like it's getting better. Because it's bleeding across the entire, like, it's happening over here, and there's no reason for a lot of these kids to be committing crimes over here. Like in the States there is, but here people have schooling, they have healthcare. Like, to get a job is really easy over here, even if you have a criminal record, and they pay okay. Like, London, it's an economic capital. Like, it's hard to be destitute here, but a lot of our culture just find themselves in the same.
You feel like they pulling in that, so like what you just described to me kind of sounds like a funnel of, so you have like all this Black American culture, all the good and the bad, but then it's like it goes through a funnel, and what the world gets is like all the mainstream stuff that is like, for whatever reason, put on this platform. So like you said, like the sexy reds and stuff like that, you wouldn't hear about a Rhapsody, or, you know, a lot of the underground rappers that I know about that are talking some real shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, really rapping.
Really interesting.
So, like, for us here, even, it could be hard to weed through all the bullshit to find the good stuff. So, you kind of just, like, gave me a lot to think about with that, like, the exposure of other stuff. And that's why I'm even more surprised that you even got to see this computer key stuff. I have people that follow me that say they haven't seen it. Like,
I'm surprised too, bro. Like, usually this kind of content, they don't push it. Yeah, they don't push it for real.
Yeah, man. Damn, you just really gave me some stuff to think about, because I'm in my own bubble, but Americans as a whole are in our own bubble of like, you know, we don't really know too much about how other people perceive us, and, you know, we really don't care. But like, I think we should. I think that as, you know, Black people, we should definitely be more mindful of like what is representing us as a whole. I never would have thought about that, which is kind of crazy. Damn.
Yeah, I think Black Americans are used to control the culture of Black people worldwide. I think literally, and even in Sweden, bro, like that culture of like trap, grime, hip hop has really, like, people committing crimes in Sweden. Like, honestly,
And this is stuff that they're just getting from the American culture.
I mean, there's poverty, right? But there's also that culture of crime and, you know, that gang culture that comes from the music. That with the poverty, because you can be poor but still make legal money. You can still work a job. But the culture of the hip hop is like all about kind of flexing, fast money, like smashing the baddest women, and most dudes kind of want that, and they want that quick money, so they kind of buy into that culture. And in places that you just wouldn't expect violence, like there's people in Sweden driving from Sweden to like Holland to commit drills.
Oh,
like if you hear about Swedish and like they're like the kindest people over there, bro. But you know, you get Black culture and stuff that kind of spreads, and you know, it's it needs to be like just like spoken about for sure, because it's tough worldwide.
No, that's crazy. I think we need to. I mean, like, I guess as a whole, understand like where where is the stuff being consumed, and like why is that the stuff that's making it out? Because there's a lot of other good stuff that could be shared, and I just don't understand that. Damn. All right, we definitely got a little
Yeah,
deep there.
we got deep into that one. So
Damn. Like you definitely gave me something to think about with it. So, but I was talking about this. I definitely want to get into this next thing from your perspective. So, as a, so I guess you would call it Cameroonian British,
yeah.
yeah, or
Yeah,
English, or yeah, okay. What has your experience been like in this field, and like immigrating and everything, and getting assimilated and all that? Like, what has your experience been like?
um, it's actually been surprisingly blessed.
Hmm.
Um, in my field, in my job, I'm the only ethnic person in my office. Like I think probably the entire company. I didn't know this until like a few weeks in.
So
Yeah, everyone was kind of, huh?
everybody else is white.
Yeah, everyone was straight white, man, straight white
Oh.
British. Yeah, but I didn't know this until like a few weeks in. That it's actually only me. But yeah, that's my experience has kind of been it's been very good actually. I haven't really experienced anything kind of outwardly racist or oppressive or anything that affect my view.
Hmm.
So in some in some sense, I think I kind of get preferential treatment because I'm not necessarily what they'd expect.
Right.
So people may have preconceived notions of people like us. So when I kind of beat those, like they can relate with me, and I kind of pass those notions. They kind of they like me more than they should in general. They kind
Right.
of like, oh shit, this is interesting. I want him to be my friend. So I do get preferential treatment. So my experience has been on the positive side, though I'd say that in terms of my background, I've had the ability to kind of integrate with both cultures.
Hmm.
So my secondary school was predominantly black. Like my year group, I think there was 100 of us in my year group, and maybe seven of us were white. Like
Hmm.
there was only like seven white people, so the rest were just black and probably one Asian guy
Hmm.
or a few Asian guys. So I got like in touch with black culture. Then from 16 to 18, I went to a more diverse school. When I went to school with white people from all over. So it kind of let me branch out, kind of see things in from other perspectives, see other cultures, and probably see things in my culture that may not necessarily be the best or could have been done differently. Things.
Hmm.
So I've just kind of been blessed, and I think all of that kind of diversity growing up, has led me to kind of know how to approach things differently and approach things better and kind of get the best out of a lot of
Right.
situations. So my experience has been good as a
That's really good to
Canadian.
hear. No, that's great.
I
It's
can't
like,
speak for everyone else.
mhm.
Yeah.
um, but I did want to ask you. So you mentioned like people. I would say like kind of go out of their way to be your friend or to get to know you because you are different. Um, does that get annoying, or do you just see it as like them trying to relate to you how they can?
No, it doesn't get annoying. I actually see it as probably them trying to relate to me
Hmm.
because I think because I'm around people like me all the time,
Hmm.
right? But if you're not and you kind of only see like the news and the media, if you kind of meet someone that doesn't fit that narrative, it kind of interests you. Because I think a
Right.
lot of people, especially a lot of people who aren't black, kind of if they meet someone that isn't black, that kind of meets surpasses expectations. They kind of like to brag about it for some reason. And I don't really like. I don't mind that, to be honest. I kind of I do appreciate that in a sense. The only negatives is that sometimes you kind of meet people that want to one up you. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because I'm black or if it's just a masculine thing. But there's some people that just want to one up you. Like you're like, yeah, it's kind of basic. Do you know what I mean? Have you ever experienced
Yeah,
that?
no, I get what you're saying. I'm
Like it
just
just Not in my workspace, though. I haven't experienced that like
Oh,
that.
okay, all right, that's good. I was gonna say like I'm not sure if that's a race thing or an age thing because sometimes when you come in, you're kind of young. People might get intimidated by that too. Feel like you try to take their job or something. So,
Yeah,
um,
that's. I'm not too sure. It might just be one of those.
but
So,
what about women? How do you see a lot of women, or do you work with a lot of women?
in the only women I work with are kind of like on the HR side.
I see.
So there's not many women in tech that I work with, but surprisingly, the African women who are like the Black British women are doing really well over here.
Mm.
Like when I was on them dating apps a year ago or so, and you see the careers, bro, these women are data analysts, biomedical scientists,
Yeah.
like they're my age and stuff, and they have they're lawyers, physicians. There's some
Yeah,
serious women out there. So
that's how it is here. Yeah, like the
yeah,
women are
like
they're doing their thing for real, yo.
yeah,
um, but
honestly.
I did want to ask you. So like you mentioned before that you were going to like conventions and stuff like that. So when you were doing that, what was the diversity like?
Huh? The diversity.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was mainly like white and Asian,
Mm.
like in those kind of events, and even in like the chats, you get a lot of like South Asians and all of
Mm.
those guys, but there's not much diversity in the tech field. And in most fields, I wouldn't say there's much diversity in terms of like black people. Though I wouldn't say it's necessarily a lack of opportunity over here as
Mm.
opposed to like how it's in America. I'd say over here it's just priorities. I
Mm.
think a lot of us want to be like musicians, athletes, and kind of entertainers more than actual careers. So I
Mm.
think that's why you don't see us there. It's not for a lack of opportunity for sure, because the system is definitely a lot different over here in the UK. Racism could exist, like it probably does. It does. I'm not going to say it could. It does. But yeah, it's just over here. The men particularly,
Mm.
they're all about fast money. So you're not really going to see them in like in yeah. You'll see a few, but
So so do you feel like the 9 to 5 type of job is like frowned upon in the
yeah,
community?
across a certain demographic of specifically like the black men, like yeah, or anyone who not even the black men, but anyone who's like properly into that kind of like hip hop culture.
Mm.
It's all about quick money. It's if you ask them a 10-5 year plan, it wouldn't really involve getting into a certain position that pays a certain amount of money. It
Mm.
involves finessing their way. I think that South African guy mentioned it. It's always
Mm.
about finessing their ways in their bag.
Mm.
Like either they're gonna earn something like 100K in 5 years. That's just how they
Mm.
see it. They're gonna have a business there, but
Yeah.
they don't have the actual steps or salary progression. So I think it's a culture thing for sure.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah. Which is why I think you're definitely a role model. I think it's good for people to see the amount of success that can be achieved through a career,
Yeah, because
especially the amount of peace. It's usually peaceful.
I've been thinking like it's a lack of exposure, but you from what you're saying, like I damn, like it really means a lot. But like yeah, I never really would think that. To me, it's just been oh they just don't know about it. You know what I'm saying? Like you were into computers and stuff early, they just don't know about it, so that's why they're not doing it. But if what you're seeing or what you're trying to emulate is that like fast money lifestyle, scamming, robbing, that type of shit, then I guess it would make sense that that's what you would
Yeah.
try to get to. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm gonna definitely try to keep telling my story and sharing these types of stories because like hearing you talk about this, it confirms it even more that it's definitely needed. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
damn. No, I appreciate that for sure. Um,
Yeah.
all right, did you want to ask one before we go to your next one?
Mhm. Oh yeah, we'll go to the next one. I'll save it for
Okay.
later.
Okay. So we talked about you not finishing school and working the hard labor types of jobs. Um, for me, I was doing like I said I was working overnight, but I was stocking. So like it was one point they had me on this thing called an order picker, which is like you stand on this platform and the platform goes up. I'm moving like a 200, 300 pound like dresser or something like that, 20 feet in the air, trying to slide it over onto the shelf. That was when I realized that's not it for me. So, so
At that particular moment, you
yeah, I'm like this. I could fall off this thing and like be done. Like, um, so like, what adversity or obstacles have you had to overcome during your journey? Like, whether it's work related, school related, or anything.
yeah, it's not finishing school, man. I brought that on myself. I guess I think if I finished school, this would have been a lot smoother for sure. Because I don't have like any qualifications essentially. So that was definitely my biggest opportunity. Uh, though, in a sense, it's a blessing because I think that it's also, like I said before, it's also important to kind of let people know that with that kind of grit and determination, you can still land a career.
For sure.
Even if you don't have the qualifications. But I say, yeah, my biggest kind of obstacle was just not having a degree. And in terms of just personal things, it would also be a lack of discipline.
Mm.
Growing up, especially like from the ages of like 16 to probably around 22, 23, I'd just be running around, man. I'd get into like substances, getting to partying, chasing women. Like I'm not even afraid to admit, I was wasting time, wasting energy, wasting resources, just no direction. And also that coupled with music, you know how music can be if you don't have a direction.
Yeah.
You kind of just be talking about, you kind of can be led down the wrong path easily.
Yeah.
Led down kind of self-destructive path, thinking that, yeah, you're kind of living that kind of lifestyle, but in essence, you're being manipulated. So, yeah, I think my biggest obstacles was definitely lack of self-discipline and not finishing school, though not finishing school is something I don't regret. And if I could go back, I probably still wouldn't finish, but I'd get an apprenticeship.
That's good.
Yeah.
No, that's good advice, though. That is good advice. So I wanted to ask you, during that time, what was your main influence? Like when you were lacking that discipline and where you were like running around and everything. Were you influenced by the culture you were seeing, or like where was that coming from?
Culture, 100%. The music. Well, I was growing up essentially on like that kind of Kodak Black Playboy Carti Lil Uzi. But yeah, man. Essentially, kind of debauchery lifestyle, money, sex, drugs, and you kind of think that's cool. And I'm glad I got it out of my system at such a young age. I didn't go too crazy, and I'm glad I came out with. I'm glad I came out with what do you call it? With not much baggage, like I don't have a criminal record. I don't have like any kids that I know of.
Right.
But my biggest, I think just the culture was essentially just such a bad influence on me. It was all about quick money. There was just nothing about kind of building a stable lifestyle, like family. There was just nothing about stability. It was just all about having the most money, the best clothes, the baddest women. Like it attracted. I blame myself, but I was young. But it just messed up my priorities for sure. And it's not until my prefrontal cortex developed that my brain actually started thinking long term. Like this isn't sustainable.
Right.
Like if I keep doing this for 7 years, I'll probably end up homeless and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Over here they say you're gonna be dead or in jail. A lot of people dead or in jail by 21. So it's crazy to hear. I like getting that perspective though, to see that, because you mentioned that earlier, but that was before we got into like the culture stuff and everything. So you kind of had like the firsthand experience of ingesting that type of stuff at that age where you don't really have direction, no discipline, no direction, and then you're ingesting stuff that's telling you, go do this, go do that. You can live like this if you know what I'm saying. This is how you should be living, shit like that. As a kid, I can definitely see if you didn't have somebody to be like, no, turn that off, get your ass to school, stuff like that. If you're lacking that and you don't do that for yourself, you could easily go down the wrong path. So to see that you like turn that around, nah, that's pretty. That's like a
Appreciate
good
it, bro.
accomplishment. You know what I'm saying? Like that is that could have been one of the biggest mistakes for like the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying? Like that could have, like you said, you made it out without too much baggage, but anything could have happened during that time. So to be able to make it out and
Yes.
turn that around, like that's what's up for real.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. I feel blessed. For
For
sure.
sure. For sure.
Yeah.
Mm. All right, go ahead. So I want you to ask one before I get into this next one here.
Ooh, the one that I wanted to ask was, should I ask that one? Basically, was I think it's going to lead on to what you're going to ask next. But it's life is long, and it takes around 10 or 15 years to reach mastery in a craft.
Mm.
So, do you have any other field you want to get into at like the later stages of your life?
Mm. Um. Well, I guess now would be like media stuff, like doing this type of stuff and interviewing people. Because like I said earlier, this has filled a void that I didn't even know was there. So if I can somehow continue doing this and then maybe get some sponsors out of it or something like that, that would be great. I think this is like my next venture or whatever you want to call it. And so, like I said before, like if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna try to do it. I'm gonna put my best foot forward. So as far as become like my mastery level or becoming an expert in something, just doing those reps, putting that time in. Like the reason I had to push this back a little bit, I said I needed like 10 minutes, was because I wanted to finish this little post I had to make. So like sticking to my schedule and staying consistent with everything. I think that's going to make this next media or interview or whatever you want to call this phase of what I'm doing right now. I think that's going to be what takes it to another level. As far as tech goes, I'm really with my job I'm at now. I really like this job, so I think my next field or something that I try to become a master in is I don't even know how to put this, like not just coding, not just being a dev, but like being that go-to person, being that person on the team that's like, people know that you know what you're doing. People can come to you for
Specialist.
stuff. Yeah, specialist, yeah. But in all aspects, like in every little thing that's related to what I do. So not just being the best coder, that's part of it, but like being a good communicator with my team and being able to address certain things and being more vocal and then being more comfortable when I'm doing like demos and stuff like that, and just overall becoming a better person like with what I'm doing, if that makes sense. Like just a specialist in every aspect of what I'm doing. So I think that's like my next thing. Like now that I found somewhere that I genuinely enjoy working and like going into work and doing what I'm doing, now that I found that, I'm about to become the best at in every part of like what I'm doing there. And I'm on my way with it. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm doing a lot in the office. I've done a good amount of stuff that gets me like recognition, and people are they're noticing who I am, and I've had people talk to me, spark a conversation with me, and they know who I am. I haven't even met them before. Like that's kind of like my
They recognize you off your skill.
huh.
They recognize you off your skill.
Right, exactly. Like so, somebody might have noticed me from a demo or something like that I've done, and just having like my name and my face being in rooms that I haven't been in yet, like stuff like that. So as I continue with this job and move up and become a dev three or a manager or a tech lead or whatever path I take, just being the best at that, and then the media stuff, and then like on music and everything. Just now that I've found my passions, like things that I genuinely get love out of, I'm just honing in on those things and becoming the best that I can at all of those.
So how long have you been doing it for? Tech.
Coding, tech.
Yeah.
So I've been So I was working with computers and stuff for a long time. Like my dad taught me that when I was young. But as far as like professionally coding and everything, I've been doing that since 2017. So I was doing like, I was 2017. So I was doing like the contracts, and then a little 6 month contract here, a year and a half here, stuff like that. And so this is the first like full time job I've had. I call it like my big boy job. Like it's benefits and all that. Like this is the first job I've had like this. So
yeah, big boy.
yeah. So
That's nice.
the company, like I like the company. I like the work life balance of it. I like the people I work with. So like it's been a good experience, and I feel like now I'm like really getting into my career. Like I feel like the stuff I was doing before was like a trial run kind of. And now I'm like in the full thing. Like I'm really getting everything out of my career that I've been wanting, and I think that's probably the best way to put it right there. Yeah.
Because I think you are like the first generation of like black tech. Like I think there's probably some that are probably lost in time. But in terms of like the modern world, in like the next 20 years, if you keep doing what you're doing, kind of globally, you'll be like the top, like in terms of like within our community and culture, like globally, you'd be like one of the most kind of knowledgeable minds in tech, because tech is relatively new,
Right.
especially coding.
Right.
So I think you're probably in a very elite percentage for sure. Like the things you know already, you probably have a lot more experience and like knowledge than a lot of people. So I can definitely see where like why you mean you want to be a specialist, because that's going to be needed.
Yeah.
Like people kind of specialists needs to be replaced. Like the 40, like the 50-year-olds that we have now are going to
Right.
like they're going to be people like
Exactly.
essentially
You,
on in.
you get it.
Yeah. So yeah, I think you're in a very elite position for sure. You know, you probably know that the opportunities that you have in the future. Which leads on to the next question I wanted to ask. Do you feel a sense of purpose?
Definitely. That's damn. I saw this question on there too. This is really deep. I struggled with that for a while, like a good little minute of where I was making some money, but I wasn't happy. Like I wasn't. Damn, this is kind of deep. Yeah, like I wasn't really fulfilled. I was missing something. So I think between music and this, I've gotten a sense of purpose. Like, don't get me wrong, I love coding. I love, like, it's a passion of mine. I love coding. I would do it for fun. But when you're doing, when you're working at a job and it's just something missing. And that's why I keep saying that this has filled like a hole for me, because I didn't even realize it was there. I didn't realize I was missing this community, this type of thing. And so this has given me a purpose of meeting people and like being able to do shit like this, bro. Like this has given me a whole nother, purpose or meaning, I think. And just connecting with people and then connecting their stories to other people, and then seeing people's like seeing your reaction to Heather and you saying like she's a fascinating woman. That shit made my day, bro. I was like, this is it. You know what I'm saying? This is everything. This is literally what I'm doing this for. So like stuff like that, between that and then my music, there was a time with music where I like lost sight of it, and I kind of fell into that trap of the culture of like I need to do this way. I need to be talking about certain things, and I need to have this many followers. I need to be portraying this image and stuff like that. And then that's when I kind of started falling out of love with making music. And I had to get myself back to like, you're doing this because you like to make music. You're doing this because you have a passion for writing and, putting stuff together, arranging and everything. And I had to like fall back in love with it that way. So like my purpose with that, there was a point where I was making music to get famous. I was making music to get money, to try to do that shit. but I realize I get a lot more fulfillment out of the music when I just have fun with it. When I'm making the music I want to hear, when I'm flexing myself and like pushing myself and coming up with like, that's a good bar, but let me see if I can come up with something better. Let me see if I can say that a little better, get a little better delivery, something like that. So just keeping it fresh for myself and keeping it fun and everything. I think that's been like the main thing. So like these two things have like really given me a good purpose. And then like obviously, family and everything. Family is super important for me. So if you listen to my music, you heard me talk about family from my first volume to
No.
this one. What happened?
Oh yeah, you're back. I can hear you now. I don't know, but it cut out. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it cut out when you said yeah. You said family is important,
Oh, all right.
and it cut out.
Yeah. Family is super important to me. So for a while, like when I said I wasn't happy, that was my main purpose. It was just like put myself in a position where I can, you know, spoil my niece and my nephew, or fly out to Florida to see my mom and my sister, and my mom and my sister, and my niece and my nephew, or treat my grandma to some lunch or something like that, like little
Yeah.
stuff like that. That was my purpose originally, and it still is. But I was able to find purpose outside of what I'm doing for other people, and found it within getting fulfillment for myself through music and through stuff like this, I would say. But damn, bro, you came with some questions for real.
Yeah, bro. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah.
That's
No,
how I am.
I love this though. This stuff I wouldn't even think about. You know what I'm saying? So, nah, that was a good job. You wanna ask another one before I get into your next one?
Um, sure, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. So, what would you have liked to have accomplished, learned, or started by the age of by like your late 30s
Late
in
30s.
terms of career goals, families, or any like new skills you want to pick up?
Okay. This is good. It's kind of like the 10-year goal thing because I'll be 30 in February. So I'll say like when I'm 40. Career wise, I don't really plan on leaving the company I'm at. Something super crazy would have to come up for me to leave now. Um, excuse me.
Yeah.
So I definitely see myself moving up. Um, Realistically, I see myself moving up within the next couple of years, like to the next dev level. But outside of that, either becoming a tech lead or a manager or something like that within that 10-year frame, um, while also doing this stuff. So I don't know how much I want to move up because I do still want to code right now. I don't know if that's going to change. I know that like
Yeah.
the higher you go up, the less coding you do. You're just more so like managing. Exactly. Yeah. So while I still have this itch to code, I'm either, if I do move to a management position, I would have to have some projects outside of work, or I'll just stay around like a dev 3 or something like that where I can just code and then just keep getting raises. You know what I'm saying? But like if I still want to code, just keep coding. But yeah, I see myself definitely moving up at least 2 to 3 levels. However you want to look at that, pay rate wise or position wise, either one.
Mhm.
And then still doing this 10 years from now, shit, we would be about, I don't know, 300 episodes in. Like it's like,
Yeah, nah, for real. Like
yeah,
you probably have like a couple 100,000 subscribers
yeah.
in the minis, hopefully. For sure, bro.
Yeah, so definitely still doing that, and then making music for sure. Because like I said, like I once I fell back in love with it, I realized like what I need to do to keep it fresh for me. So still making
Mhm.
music, even if I'm not putting it out by that point. Definitely still making music, and in my personal life, I want to be married and stuff. It would be nice. I'm not.
This generation is different, bro. Our generation.
Yeah, I don't even know if I want kids, honestly. So, obviously
You want
I don't know. I used to say, I used to joke around and say I wanted 8 kids, actually. But like, like, it probably will
what,
change. What'd you say?
What kind of joke was that? I want like 8 kids.
Absurd, because I clearly wasn't thinking about how much one kid costs, let alone 8. But
Yeah.
yeah, just I would love to be like on my, family is big to me. So like on my family man shit, like having people come to my house for events and stuff like that. Like I think that would be pretty cool. We cooking out in the backyard and stuff like that. Definitely see that for myself. But I think the main thing about our generation is that we don't feel rushed to do that stuff. Like we had our parents and our parents' getting married at 18 and 20. Like my grandma and grandpa got married. I don't even think she was 21 yet when they got married. I gotta double check with her, but she was young. She was pretty young when she got married. And then my mom was 30 when she got married. So maybe I'll be 33. I don't know yet, but I think we just realized that like we don't have to rush into that stuff, and especially you. I mean, you're only 25. Like you got plenty of time. So yeah, I think that like I do see that for myself. I don't know when, but no, that's a good question. So I'm gonna pivot off of that though and ask you, because that's actually your next question. Where do you see yourself going 5, 10, 20 plus years from now?
So I really, just like you, I really like the company I'm at. Mostly because of the opportunities of growth. So I'm also picking up app development iOS, using Xcode and Swift UI. I'm going to be starting that in January. So I'm going to be doing that on the side as kind of a supplementary career, because I think IT in London doesn't pay that well. Yeah, it just doesn't.
Right.
Like tech in London doesn't pay that well. So with app development, that will help. So in probably around 5 to 10 years in the line, I'll plan to fully emigrate and be remote in preferably Uganda. I just need to travel more to see where I want to be.
Right.
But because I like the kind of company I'm in, and because it's relatively new, I need to. I don't want to put this out there before he agrees, but I'd like to speak with my owner and see what he'd like, what he thinks about franchising and probably expanding overseas. Because that's kind of how I view it. It's there's a lot of opportunity there for him, especially if I'm able to run it, because I have a connection there. If I can kind of set up a IT provider or even cybersecurity, if he wants to get into that, it's just it already comes with a team. It already comes with people who have knowledge, and it's just a lot more lucrative because there's a lot more business opportunities, not that developed. So that's kind of what I'm looking at in like the next 5 to 10 years.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, because I feel like that's kind of why I'm here, to just kind of learn the skills. Because over here, if I take what I learned back home, it's a lot more fruitful. I can get a lot more out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to definitely be somewhat married within the next 10 years. I'm not, it's not a priority, but it's definitely because I think that focuses you. And in my 50s, I'd like to get into politics for sure. Yeah, that's why I kind of have to be focused on my career, making sure I hit the milestones correctly. I get the proper recognition and accomplishments, so that when I want to cross over, because I was born back there, and that comes with a lot of kind of opportunities and power. So I'm able to get into politics. I'm able to kind of influence. Yeah. I just need to kind of regain that. So yeah, within the next 10 to 15 years, relocate, ask the owner of my company if he'd like to franchise it or probably expand overseas. Then spend also do music whilst on the side, whilst I'm doing that. And within 20 years, like when I'm 25 years, I'm in my 50s, transition into politics, more humanitarian stuff. Because I kind of I want to start certain projects in around that area of Uganda and Kenya, because it's so close to Rwanda as well. Like those countries, and they're quite stable and very developed. So there can be kind of railways built and hostels and kind of accommodations, hotels. Because one thing you don't see is you don't see all-inclusive holidays to anywhere in sub-Saharan Africa.
Right.
But that needs to exist. So if people build hotels and then they get certain deals, within the next 15 to 20 years, you can see all-inclusive to certain parts of the world. So
yeah, good.
Kind of working towards bringing that into reality. Yeah, just a lot of opportunities. So that's definitely where I see my life
Damn.
going.
I could definitely see you in politics. I'm looking forward to that for sure. I feel like you would do a lot of good with that, yo. Um, but that franchising idea, that is like top notch. That because you said it's a fairly young company. You know,
Mhm.
5, 10 years from now, you'll have all the knowledge that you need to go out there and do what you need to do. The company will still be fairly young, but probably in a position for something like that, either
Yeah.
franchising or expanding or whatever. But yeah, that is a great idea, yo, for real.
Yes, I'm blessed. I'm blessed for sure. So
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to.
that would be cool. Something I've been asking recently also is like, what does retirement look for you? So for you, it'd be a little different because once you get into politics, um, I mean, obviously you can retire from politics, but you're always kind of like a political figure after that. So, what does
Yeah,
retirement
more
look like for you?
I don't honestly. It's never really something I've thought about.
Mm,
But this might sound crazy, but I always kind of imagine like past working. That sounds a
mm,
bit morbid, but not necessarily in a negative way. But I feel like life is very long, and I'm gonna have a lot of energy
yeah,
to do a lot of things, especially because of where I come from and what I've been exposed to. There's always going to be something for me to do,
yeah.
even in my 80s, whether that's just sitting down to speaking. But if we're to speak about if I had to retire, it'd probably be rural Africa or
Mm,
rural Caribbean
mm.
with grandkids and stuff for sure.
That
Somewhere
sounds cool
rural.
too. But I definitely see you as somebody that'll keep doing something. You know what I'm saying? Like you got a lot of interests. You got big obtainable goals, which I love. I love saying that because um like it's a big goal, but you can do that. You know what I'm saying? Who's to say you can't go back there and help with the whole infrastructure? You know what I'm saying? Like you talk about all inclusive. That when I went to Jamaica, we did go out and explore the we was in Montego Bay, so we explored around there, but it was a resort, all inclusive. So like stuff like that would definitely drive a lot more. I guess like tourism to
Yeah,
those countries and everything. So now I
and
love
more
that.
business as well.
Say
Like
that again.
people
Yeah, exactly. More business, right?
see like, oh, I can actually set up a business here because it's
Right.
opportunities. So
No, I love
yeah,
that.
thank you, bro.
Um, did you have any more? Because over here, I got like 1.5 questions left, I guess.
I think I got two more.
Okay, you could go ahead.
Cool. One thing I'm gonna ask is, I'm gonna save that one for last. If you had all the necessary resources to build and invest in anything you want, right? So
Mm,
whether it's schooling, like hospitals, military, housing, like what would you choose to invest in or build and why?
damn, yo, it's like you in my head. This is something I think about a lot. Like, um, for one, I'm going back to Philly and I'm investing in the schools first. The schools will have all the new stuff. I'm talking about new computers, teachers that are paid like as they should be 120K 125K, like teachers really getting paid, teachers that are highly qualified, know what they're doing, and giving them the resources to um to really be able to do their jobs. You know what I'm saying? So like I'm talking new books, new computers, the smart boards, tablets, music instruments. We'll still have sports and stuff like that, but like like everything, photography, into computers, into speech, and basically I want to introduce the same way colleges have or universities have like different majors and stuff that you can get into. I want to introduce kids to that early, like elementary school, um, allowing them to try different things, like sort of like general education classes, but like try different stuff, see what they're into. Maybe you pick up on music, maybe you pick up on stuff like this, or you like photography, you like cooking, like just literally exposure, like putting the money into the school so that the kids have exposure to different things and different trades, you know, plumbing or whatever, like whatever they might be interested in. So that's why I would need like an infinite amount of money because it would be expensive. But like,
Yeah.
you
It
know,
would
being
be.
able to get kids on that stuff early and getting their mind open to like other jobs that they never would have thought about, I think that alone would help with like a lot of the violence and stuff like that because these kids will have like after school programs and stuff like that where they're able to um you know explore that knowledge and you know get into robotics or you know building Lego robots and all that type of stuff. Like that's what I want to do with the schools. And then you know paying the teachers better and giving them extra help, assistance and stuff like assistance and stuff like that. Um,
Mhm.
it'll alleviate a lot of that stress, which I think will help with that burnout that teachers feel, which leads to not as good education because you got the kids that aren't interested and you got the teachers that are burnt out. So if you got a kid in the class that's causing wreck or you know causing a distraction, that teacher might not be in the mood that day to deal with that student, but the student isn't feeling challenged enough or the student isn't engaged enough. So like I think that paying the teachers better, having you know high quality, you know qualified teachers plus a better curriculum with more exposure, I think those things combined will lead to a better schooling system. And then, you know,
Yeah.
obviously still teaching math and stuff like that, but like just that exposure to those things. And then outside of that, I would invest in the neighborhoods in general. So like rec centers and you go around Philly, you're gonna see like abandoned buildings, you wanna see abandoned factories and stuff like that. And right now, a lot of them are getting like you got these rich investors. They'll come in. Actually, there was a high school in Philly, Germantown High School, that just got bought not too long ago for $100,000. So somebody's going to take this high school and probably break it down into like apartments or something like that, which is cool. They're going to make some money. People going to have a place to live. Cool. But I would much rather turn that into something like a rec center with more programs for kids, programs for ex-cons and stuff like that, programs for
Yeah.
parents that are, you know, your kid can be at the daycare down the hall while you're taking a class on coding or something like that. Like just different opportunities for people that they would never would have thought about. So like rec centers and uh, community centers, job centers, stuff like that, where people are exposed to other stuff that they don't think about. Where you can go in and get like accredited certificates and stuff like that. And then outside of that, just investing in the infrastructure. So like the roads and stuff like that, and the houses and people. You know, some people might be getting priced out of their neighborhood and stuff like that due to gentrification. So like just helping the housing system in general. And then also with that would come like the healthcare. So doing that stuff in Philly,
It's a lot of work, man.
a lot. But yeah, doing that stuff in Philly and then trying to mimic that in like other similar type of cities and everything, and then hopefully from there, you know, spreading that around the world. But I would have to start with what I know, which is Philly, my neighborhood, from my neighborhood to my grandma's neighborhood to my uncles and my you know my aunts, and like just spreading it through the city, creating a better environment overall. That would be like my main thing, and then investing in other people. So investing in like small businesses and startups and stuff like that. Like you know, because musicians, like it's just so many people. Like we talked about earlier with the talent and everything. There's so much talent out there, but if you don't have that backing, that funding or whatever, you probably never hear about a lot of people. So
Yeah.
you know that'd probably be the last thing. Like just investing in different people that I believe in, pretty much. Um, yeah, that was a good question. That was a pretty
I
long
like
question.
that. They're all centered around giving back. Like that's
Yeah, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
yeah.
Because to me, I guess my main thing has always been like If I was to ever be like a billionaire or something like that, I just don't. There's only so much you can get with money. I'm not big on like clothes and stuff like that. I don't care about cars and jewelry. I wear all the same stuff. Like I wear either my merch or
I
like.
need you to show me where I can get one of them hoodies.
Oh, I got you. Yeah,
Give me a link, bro.
they're not for sale right now, but I'll get you one for sure. But yeah, I wear all the same stuff. I don't care about like that type of stuff. So after a while, having that much money, I just wouldn't know what to do with it other than give it to people, pay for stuff for people, stuff like that. So giving me an infinite amount of money, I'm gonna just infinitely give it away, honestly, because once my
It means
need, what'd you say?
no, go on.
I was just saying, once my needs are met, my family is good.
Mm.
I don't, as long as I can travel and experience the stuff I like to do my music, do this type of stuff, I'm good. Honestly, like I wouldn't even. I don't need too much. Like I'm a homebody. I'm in the crib a lot. Like I really don't do too much. So yeah, I guess majority of what I do would be just like giving it away, which is yeah. That's a good question.
That's good. I like that, man. Especially with the schools. Come overseas as well, bro. Leave the
That's what I'm
state.
saying.
For sure, man. That's where it's at.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'll start hearing it spread out. All right, did you wanna ask your last one, or you want me to ask you?
My last one was what do you enjoy most about working in tech?
Mm, okay. What I
It doesn't
enjoy
have to
the
be about the
most.
job specifically, or just it can just be about the opportunities it provides.
Okay, that's actually perfect. I would say the life I've been able to live off of just what I know, and the fact that I feel like even if I lose my job tomorrow, I know what I know, and that's nothing that it would never be taken away from me. While I still have my mind, my wits about me, and everything. I know that I'll be able to get another job. I'll be able to freelance. I'll be able to build my own thing. You know what I'm saying? Like this knowledge that I've gained and continue to gain can't be taken away. And I think that's the thing I love the most. It's like if I'm doing a labor job, if I'm picking stuff up and bending down and doing all this, at some point I can't do that anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like
It's
whether
true.
it's age or anything, at some point I won't be able to lift those 50 pounds as easily as I used to be able to.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like with my knowledge, my head, being able to think, like I can do that for the next 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm going to always be looking for like that next thing to learn. So I would say like that's the main thing about tech is like the fact that it's always something new. It's always
Yeah.
updates to something. It's always, then they got AI, all these different types of AI to learn and, all this different stuff. And even this type of stuff, like the audio and what we do with the music and all of those little things, just being
It's
able
all
to,
tech.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
It's all tech.
just being able
Essentially.
to dabble in all these little things and try them out and just always be learning new stuff. No matter how long you've been in something, it's always something
Mm-hmm.
new to learn with tech. And I think that's like what I love the most. That's a good question, yo. Um,
Yeah, that's basically
but-
my answer.
yeah, I was about to say, I feel like you probably have a similar answer. Yeah. Um, all right, so you got into a lot of good stuff here, and I'm excited to hear what you have for this. So I've been combining these last two things. So I want to do like what tips you have for somebody that is maybe in a similar position, trying to get to where you are, whatever. What tips do you have for somebody, and like your final words or like your parting words for everybody?
Mhm. If I have tips for someone who doesn't have the necessary qualifications to get into tech, I'd say first off, the fact that you want to get into tech, you should say congratulations to yourself because you picked a good career path. Tech, you don't necessarily need qualifications; you need to have drive.
Mm,
And I say my advice to people would be turn it into a lifestyle. So, of course, you want the job and you want to earn money because you're going to earn money. There's money in tech, that's for sure. But when I say turn it into a lifestyle, find something you like to do in tech. So for me, I like app development.
mm-hmm.
So learning coding around app development because that's what I like. So I think that's just my big advice. Just find something in tech you enjoy, because whether it's digital marketing, social media, once you got that, then everything else, because it becomes a lifestyle to you, eventually you're going to get the role you need because you're going to learn how to do it, how to present yourself.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably be my advice, is make it into a lifestyle, because it's really going to it's going to help you a lot if you want to get into it. If you want to get into tech and you have no qualifications, if you have qualifications, I guess shit. If you're not in it yet, then you kind of don't want to be. Yeah, it's a challenging. So I say you have to make it into a lifestyle for sure. If you have no, and don't be disheartened by the things you see, by the requirements you see. When someone says you need this amount of experience, this and that, just apply and come in knowing your stuff. Like just make sure you know your stuff, and yeah, that's basically it. Just it's fun. I guess I like tech, so maybe it's just fun for me. But I guess yeah. So don't be disheartened, and yeah, just really, really make it into a lifestyle.
No, that's great advice. That's what you did. You know what I'm saying? Like you immerse yourself in that. You said, this is the job I want to get. This is how I'm going to become the person that gets that job. Like,
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, because like work for me ain't work, man. You probably know what it's.
Yeah, it's fun. Like,
yeah. Because from going to warehousing to this year, I was like, is this how people are living?
Yeah.
Like people, like they actually just.
Yeah.
Because you solve the tickets and things that people be struggling on. You kind of just get it once, and then you're like, oh yeah, this and that. So yeah, I feel blessed for sure. And I think, like you said with tech, I think anyone can get into it. It's not like this kind of exclusive thing where you need to have all the kind of qualifications.
Right.
It's if you have that initiative, it's there for the taking.
Absolutely.
Like, honestly, but don't drop out of school. I don't like. Don't do that. Like, finish your education. Yeah. If you're not sure about uni apprenticeships, but just keep making sure you're educated, or else you just get distracted. Like if you're not educated, you just be doing some silly stuff.
That's some wisdom for you to be that young. You know what I'm saying? That's definitely some wisdom. That's you taking your experiences and teaching somebody a lesson off of that. I love that. Yeah, man. You talk about Heather was fascinating. You are fascinating, bro. For real. Like this.
Thank you, bro.
This has been like probably one of the best conversations I've had over ever. Honestly, like not even just these interviews, but like, yeah, man. Damn, you had me like thinking about stuff and getting deep into like stuff I never thought about. Like, damn, bro. I can't wait to like when I edit this and like rewatch everything. It's gonna hit the same. Like it's gonna come back. But shit, man.
Because I think I just came across your channel on Instagram. Just random things scrolling, and then when I saw it, it was just like a very relaxed guy talking about tech, talking about his experience. And because you were black, I just of course sometimes I don't like to just kind of gravitate to someone because he's black.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to give them an opportunity to show their characteristics. But in terms of you're a professional, you're very calm, and in sense of the role models, we don't have a lot of role models like that. Like we're speaking strictly business, your career opportunities. A lot of our role models are speaking about kind of like a lot of social stuff, things that don't necessarily help, personal development and growth.
Right.
You were just really scratching it, showing people that you can be sophisticated in this culture, and like, yeah, I think you're a good role model, man. Honestly, and
damn, bro, like
we need more of this on the platform for sure.
That's like really one of the best compliments I've ever gotten. Like when you sent me that message that first time, I was like, yo, that shit really hit me like in the heart. So like doing this now, yo, yeah. You like this shit made my day. Damn.
It made mine too, man. I was looking forward to it. I was looking forward to it for sure. I was a bit nervous, I ain't gonna lie. It was overseas and it was late. I was like, wow, the energy. I was looking. That's
how I was trying to be mindful, like what time it is for you and everything. But nah, bro, I'm so happy we did this. I appreciate this so much. Did you have anything else?
I was gonna say we should run it back like maybe like a year's time or so.
Oh, for sure.
Everyone's,
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm definitely gonna have you back on her for something. Well, even if it's not an interview, you will be back
sure.
because like even just this conversation. I've been thinking
Yeah,
about doing like more forum type of stuff. So like have you and then some other people on at the same time, and then we have like a certain topic and we get into that. Um, you would definitely be back for that, John. So
yeah,
let
bro.
me
Please,
let me get figure out everything, the timing and everything going into the new year. But no, we definitely gonna be in touch for sure. And then like I said, I got a little project I'm about to start working on this next month. Um, that I wanna get you coding on. So yeah,
yeah, I appreciate that.
this has been
Also,
great.
me and my friends were also gonna start a little kind of. I just don't want to give it too much away now, but we're gonna start something,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's just important for us to just have role models like you on the platform
Mm-hmm.
and stuff. So I'll definitely be hitting you up,
All right, say no more.
and
Yeah, whatever you need, let me know.
yeah, for sure,
Yeah, whatever
we'll
you
get
need.
shit.
All right, bet. And when I come out to the UK, you gotta show me around and all that.
No, bro, no.
All
Come
right,
during summer, bro. Come during summer, like
all
don't
right,
let me stay here during the winter.
all right.
Let me come outside during the winter, bro.
All right, say no more. No, that sounds
I got
good.
you.
Damn, bro,
I
I
got you.
appreciate you though. I'm gonna let you. I know what is it, 12:30 there.
Yeah, 12:30. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
That works, man.
I'm gonna let you go.
Yeah.
But I really appreciate
Thank
you,
you for
bro.
having me, bro.
Oh, of course, of course. Thank you for
I
doing this.
appreciate that.
Damn, man. Thank you so much. I forgot to. Yeah, I got so caught up in the conversation. Let me do a little the sign off. So, yeah, man, this has been probably honestly my favorite tech story. I'm not even gonna lie, like it has been. So, yeah, that's it. Y'all be safe.
You too.
And we addicted to them W's. Sure, but you knew that though. Sure. I thought you knew that though. Sure. That's what we do that for. Sure. It's looking beautiful. Sure.